Hey, hang on while I'm close the door. All right, I wanted to make a quick video about sauce. It's legal in 2021 in some of the new races, and we just had an excellent weekend of racing, and all of the races here in Arizona had the rule of sauce is legal. So actually what was cool was really tech wasn't a big deal in either of the races. All the cars went really fast. There wasn't a whole lot of, I didn't see one argument. Everybody had a great time. I don't think that was solely because of the sauce, but there was no controversy over any type of setup of any car, which was awesome. Probably the best full day of racing with two races that I've ever had. So I've had questions on sauce. A while ago I made a video on Ultra Blue, which was a good sauce, and hey Eric, hey Ray. So I wanted to make a new video on what I've learned, and the goal is kind of to, I think if you don't know a little bit about sauce, then with the new rules, you could get discouraged pretty quick because it's a big difference. So in my opinion, just to kind of dive into it, I got a bunch of bottles here. There's, over the last couple weeks, I've gone through about 40 bottles of different types of stuff, right? So it seems like there's 3 different types or stages of sauce. And the first one is like a conditioner. I think Schultz coined that phrase, where I will mount a tire and soften it, or run a chemical that like PB Blaster. Everybody's got their own type of stuff, it seems like, but there is stuff out there that softens the rubber, gives you a little bit more traction, and it's a prep that you do the week before, or it permanently alters the rubber, and it's undetectable by the stick test or a feel test. It's just it's actually making the rubber softer. So I know of 3 that are out there. One works particularly well that me and my buddy Kelly introduced me to it. But I'll usually use that to soften the rubber depending on the tire. And then the second phase, or the second type of sauce that I've seen, or the category, is kind of the no prep passable sauce. And there's a lot of different variants of those out there, but I use something, I kind of label it a conditioner. I can put it on the tire and heat it really hot, and the stuff will soak in to the tire, and it leaves it dry, and it gives you a little bit more traction. So these type of sauces are why the no prep rule is hard to police. And I'm doing this it maybe gives me a little bit of a disadvantage, or giving some people some knowledge that they maybe don't have, but the people that make the rules should know what's out there, and what people are dealing with when you try and run a no prep race, which in my opinion is almost impossible unless you give them the tires before the race, because there's all sorts of little sneaky stuff you can do to make the tire grippier. Jack's figured out some really good ways with honestly with what is it? The green stuff. I can't even remember the name of it right now. But come to find out, that stuff can get kind of sticky, and he's hauling ass just with the name is escaping me right now. But anyway, the point is, there's all sorts of kind of prep stuff you can do, especially with heat, that speeds up or strengthens the process, that can pass a no prep test. And there are some legit very fast cars. I've seen James Gallatin put on a brand new set of tires and rip off a 220 with legit no prep. But he also, he had a bag of 30 tires when he did it. So I don't know if that's the type of racing we want to do. Simple Green, thank you, Chris. So, Simple Green is a great cleaner, and it can actually, under certain conditions, get a little bit sticky and help. There is like a second type of traction compound that is kind of not detectable. But what's funny is some of them leave a mark on the ground. So, the rule makers I see rules being made of, hey, I can't leave a mark on the ground, and the mark on the ground has no relation to how strong the sauce is. It's actually probably the oil or conditioner in the sauce that, or the chemical that you're using, that leaves the mark when the tire spins, because some of the pre-prep stuff that I use is an oil that conditions the rubber. And I noticed it's easier to make a mark on the ground with something like that than really, really sticky stuff. So I can appreciate that people don't want to leave these big old long marks on the ground, but that's not what's giving you the traction, in my opinion. And all of this stuff is just what I found. I'm sure there's other stuff out there that people know about that I don't know about that might disprove some of this. I'm just saying what I've learned recently, because there has been a pretty big step in sauce. So I got some notes here. The third type is the VHT type that gives you all the traction. Hey, Mike Greenwald. Wow, how you doing, Mike? So the third type is, at least the stuff that I've seen works really good, is actually a lot of the same stuff that the real drag racers use. And it's extremely sticky. And the first one I found and used a lot of was Ultra Blue. What's this one? That chemicals you're messing with. I'm surprised your hair's falling off. Yeah. If anything, maybe it's made it grow longer, So Ultra Blue came out. It works extremely well. It's extremely hard to get now, and I think I've actually found something that's even stronger than Ultra Blue. And the new rule with the VHT type traction compound is you have to do burnout, and Ultra Blue in certain instances didn't like that. It kind of scrub it off. So I've been testing and different traction compounds, and I found one that works really good with a burnout. And I tried it for the first time at James's race this weekend with amazing results. It just so happens that a friend of mine built a Vanishing Point car, Kelly, and that car handled the majority of every amount of power I could put at it, and it actually blew through the slipper. The slipper's not tight enough, or I can't get it tight enough, but it turned some amazing times with this sauce. So after that race, I kind of left there, and I showed some people, how sticky the tire was, and talked about it a little bit, and the car turned some crazy times, and I kind of thought, man, is this another like Ultra Blue type moment that I think people should kind of know what's out there. So you got a new guy coming into this, and they know nothing about sauce. It's hey Ryan, hey, this is for you, Ryan, because you had a good question today, so I thought I'd do this. So the new guys coming in, if they don't know anything about the sauce, it's going to be very discouraging. So, my opinion, there's three types. There's the pre-prep stuff, or the preconditioned rubber softener type stuff, and a good example is like PB Blaster. It actually changes the chemical, or it changes the makeup of the rubber, makes it softer and grippier. There's a pre-prep that can dry out and make a little bit more traction, and then there's a full prep that is really sticky, and the stuff that I'm using dead sticks and does not leave one mark on the ground. That was the first thing I was worried about at the 480 race. Was I know they were watching to make sure nobody was leaving marks, and it was completely dry, no mark, but it made so much traction that you get a screech kind of out of the tire, but it was dead stick and everything. So I know James has a really good sauce. Kelly has a new sauce that came out for his Beetlejuice that's good. There's a bunch of them out there. I don't know if I'm going to sell this one. I think I had Tim say, hey, you're going to sell this? Or you're going to sell me some? Or I'm not sure. But it's going to be a game changer. You're going to see cars going really fast. Hey, Cameron. So, I mean, if you got questions about it, you're definitely, you can message me and I'll answer anything I can. The last thing I wanted to say is, at least when I personally prep a tire, I wanted to kind of show you what's different now with my tire game compared to before sauce. Before sauce, Frank turned me on to, and Tucson turned me on to this Panther tire, and I really like the Panther tire. And I think a lot of the 707 guys, and there's some different groups that really like these tires. And this is what I ran in Vegas. I love the tire for a no prep environment. Works great. Recently, I've tried. I've tried this with a band. It works good. I think it's a little bit of an improvement. So the Rocco band works good. Now there's a ton of people making them out there. But this weekend, because I had so much traction available, I tried the reaction tire for the first time. And I know the 480 guys, I think, were the first people to make it, at least locally, really work good. And I've been fighting trying to figure out a tire that's competitive with it. So I tried the reaction, and it was the top end of the reaction tire was incredible with the sauce. I could never get the initial grip with the reaction tire, and it was always surprising how fast these guys were going with it, because I couldn't get it to launch really well. The tire is really stiff. So with this new sauce, I was able to launch really hard and dead stick the tire, and then the top end was ridiculous because the tire stays really true. And I think I'm losing a lot of speed because this tire deforms pretty heavily on the top end. Again, these are just my opinions on tires, but I think the 480 guys are onto something with the reaction tire, where it's, I think it was the fastest car I've ever driven was this weekend, and it had the reaction tires on it. Somebody asked me about the process. I do bag the tires, so I did this test where I put one tire out for a couple weeks, a brand new tire, and I put a tire on the desk for a couple weeks, and then I compared them, and you could feel that the tire left to air oxidized. So I think you do want to bag the tire when you're not using it. There is ways with solvent to clean the oxidized rubber off. I've learned a lot from Kelly. I watched Kelly Rea, very meticulous guy. He's kind of my teammate, and we bounce a lot of things off each other, but he watched him make a set of reaction tires, and he's cleaning off the tire, and he spends a very meticulous amount of time getting the tire extremely clean, and it makes a big difference. So I'm using some solvents now to get the tires really clean after every run. The problem, I'm kind of scatterbrained, but I didn't really plan this out. I just wanted to make a quick video. But after every run, I also I'll clean my tire off with a fairly strong solvent, because I got to get all this sticky stuff off the tire. And when I when I run a VHT type or a sticky type compound, the stuff that I tried when I first tried it, it was so strong. It worked great on the first run, but then the second run, I laid it over the top of the first stuff, and it worked okay. And then by like the third and fourth run, the tire was this gumball thick. You couldn't even feel the rubber anymore. So I found that after every run, I got to scrub the tire back down to the original rubber, get it extremely clean, and then reapply. And I'll reapply the pre-prep if I'm using it, and I'll heat the tire, and then 5 minutes before the run, I'll put the prep on the outside. And that seems to be the strongest traction I can get. The last thing I'll say too is it's not all about just the prep. The pre-prep or the good tire pulls you the last half of the track. If I don't run a good tire or have a clean tire, it might launch good, but it doesn't make the traction. The tire scrubs off that VHT fairly quick, or VHT type stuff very quick, and it needs a good base rubber underneath it, or it's not gonna be optimum. So every time I run, I'm cleaning the tire, and you'd be surprised when you really clean a tire to where there's nothing coming off the rag. The solvent that I'm using, it scrubs black off the rag, or off the tire onto the rag, so I go through rags like crazy, but a really clean tire makes a lot of traction with nothing on it. Then when you top it with something sticky, with the rules allowing it now, there's a lot of traction. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell this stuff yet. I'm kind of calling it Ultra Green. Ultra Blue was a game changer for me, and I think this is the next step where if I can utilize all this traction with the new speed controls and the new motors out, you're gonna see some crazy times, and not just from me, but I'm sure other people are going down the same route. So you're gonna see some quick times. I'm excited to see what the new rules will allow for how fast the cars go. Doesn't seem like weight makes a big difference. I know I just drove the fastest car I've ever driven this weekend, and it was heavy. It was I think it was 2060 or 2070. It was a heavy car. So just wanted to give you kind of my overview on Sauce. What is that replying? And there's a few of them out there. I know James makes a pretty good one, 480. Kelly just came out with one, and that's the stuff that I was using for pre-prep for a while that was surprising. Quick story about that prep was I saw Kelly make this same traction as some of the 480 guys in California, and I asked him, like, I think he went all the way to the semifinals, and he didn't even own heaters with reactions. I'm like, how are you making that much traction? That is ridiculous. And he showed me the stuff that now he's selling. That really worked amazing on reaction tires. So I'm glad he's kind of put it out there to the public. I use it, it works good. The only thing I'm doing slightly different is laying some stuff over the top that's really sticky, but that thing, his stuff pulls me to the end after my sticky stuff wears off. So yeah, there's good things to come with Sauce. I think I'll probably end up either combining this with Kelly's stuff or selling it, or telling people how to make it, but it'll be out there soon. I kind of want to perfect it. So once I get it figured out totally, then I'll get it out there to everybody one way or another, just like Ultra Blue. But I tried Ultra Blue, you know, last thing I'll say is I tried Ultra Blue this weekend, and then I tried this after, and it's stronger. I could spin Ultra Blue, and I couldn't spin this. And I couldn't really find the limit of it because the slipper couldn't hold the power, but I know the car was extremely, extremely fast. I raced some really fast people from California and really fast people from Arizona and all over, and it performed extremely well. So good things to come here real soon. If you got any questions, message me, and I'll see if I can get some more information on this prep here real soon. See you guys.